What's up, everybody? Charlie Marlow here. Got to jump on and talk about this spicy little comment from Scott Boras taking a shot at your St. Louis Cardinals over their handling or announcing that Tyler ONeal is being shopped around. They're listening on trade offers. So let's just, first of all, let you know exactly what Scott Boras said. Okay, clearly I'm in my kitchen, so I'm not at MLB's winter meetings in Nashville. So I saw this tweet from Jeff Jones, who covers the Cardinals, obviously, for the Belleville News Democrat. He's been on this channel many times, has been a contributor, and gotten us a lot of content for the last couple of years at spring training. So here's what Jeff Jones tweets, 11:19 a.m. That's about 45 minutes ago as I'm taping this. Boras, Tyler ONeal was 8th in MVP voting, 2 gold gloves, 30 home runs. It's nice to know in the talent evaluation of the Cardinals, they have players who can reach higher than that. I don't know, end quote. So when I see that tweet, I immediately think, well, that's Scott Boras taking a shot at the Cardinals and their talent evaluation, because in recent years, let's be honest, they've let a lot of really good players go via trade and Adolis Garcia, but the ones we talk about the most, obviously, Sandy Alcantara, Zach Gallen, Adolis Garcia, Randy Arozarena in that deal with the Rays, where Matthew Liberatore comes back the other way. So again, there's the tweet, and the line that I really kind of perked up at was, it's nice to know in the talent evaluation of the Cardinals, they have players who can reach higher than that. I don't know. So because I know Jeff, and I threw him a text here and I said, saw your tweet, great stuff. Did you take Boras's comment as a shot at Cards trading away good players in recent years? He responds, I did. Way, way more than anything about Tyler himself. So on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. The player evaluation poke was the meat. That was the story. That's what I picked up on. But again, sometimes some of this media stuff gets lost in translation. So I didn't want to just come out there and talk about this if that was not the context. But Jeff Jones, who's there, he said absolutely the player evaluation poke was the meat. So what do you guys think of these comments? Is this a story? Am I making too much of it? I think, first of all, it's fun. There's nothing going on right now. Everybody's waiting on Ohtani, Yamamoto, and this is one of the events each and every year at MLB's winter meetings, is when Scott Boras holds court. You see the picture. There's just a sea of reporters. He's always there. He's done his homework. He probably has writers. He's got all his little puns for all his players. Like apparently this year he said something about belly buttons with Cody Bellinger. Last year it was Brandon finding Nemo. He's always got his little puns and all that. I remember one year he was talking about the Cardinals. This is probably 3-4 years ago. I can't even remember which year. It might have been the year that Max Scherzer was available, but he made a comment about the Cardinals with the 2 birds on the bat, that really it should be 2 birds on the bank. They have money to spend and they draw so well, and the TV money and all that. So each and every year Scott Boras does this. And this isn't the end of the world and all that. I just found it very, very funny. You knew Scott Boras was going to say something, but I think the fact that he took a nice little poke at the Cardinals' talent evaluation, I found that funny. Now let's move on from that. And first of all, what do you guys think? Is it funny to you? Should he have not done that? Are you offended? It's fun. It's baseball. It's all good. And by the way, the Cardinals, John Mozeliak, they're big boys. They can take it. And also Scott Boras is right. Let's be real about that part of this. That part, meaning the talent evaluation over the last, 5-6 years in terms of trades with the names I mentioned earlier, Sandy Alcantara, Zach Gallen, Adolis Garcia, Randy Arozarena. I'm not going to get into every single one of those. I know you can pick and poke at those and say, oh, this way. Okay, Adolis Garcia, he didn't develop yet. I understand that. It's more about the volume, the number of guys that have gotten away in recent years. But here's where I will side with the Cardinals. First of all, I'm siding with Boras because he's funny, all right? And he's good for baseball. And by the way, I used to be like other people. Oh, Scott Boras, he's bad for the game. He's bad for baseball. All he cares about is money. Oh, really? Wouldn't you want him to be your agent? And by the way, did you have these feelings about Scott Boras like I did, where you think, oh, it's just greed and it's money? Maybe you thought that when you were a teenager. That's kind of how I was. Oh, then I get into the workforce. Oh, then I am working TV in a union shop. Oh, then you start to see how union negotiations go. Oh, you start to see how all of a sudden it's less pay and less overtime and less vacation and less personal days. And they're coming after everything. And all that matters is the profit. And all that matters is the stock price. And I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but I'm really not, because the point is, and Scott Boras has joked about this himself. He's like, hey, I work in baseball, but if you want me to work for the teachers union, I'll go and I'll bargain, negotiate, and I'll get them a better deal. My point is, you think it's all about greed and everything till you enter the workforce. You start having negotiations with your boss, your superior, management, whatever it is, the company bigwigs. And you start to realize how, hey, it sure as hell helps to have somebody on your side, or to have the information on your side to negotiate for you. So Scott Boras, I would sign him up to be my agent in a heartbeat if I was a baseball player. Absolutely. And look, I understand the owners have to be solid as well. And I understand the players can't always get everything. But if it's going to be a tie, I will always side with the players. And I know I'm going beyond baseball in some cases here, but in a tie, I will always side with labor over capital, even if it's baseball players who are making hundreds and hundreds of $1,000,000 versus the billionaire owners that we're talking about. So Scott Boras, he can be my agent any day and twice on Sundays. But here's where I'll side with the Cardinals. Or I just more so understanding the situation. So when Boras makes these comments, he says Tyler O'Neill was 8th in MVP voting, 2 Gold Gloves, 30 home runs. Then he makes the comment where he's taking the shot. Well, let's be real about this, okay? This is 2023, December. We're going into 2024 season coming up, where it sounds like Tyler O'Neill is no longer going to be a Cardinal, because if you announce you're shopping him, I don't think he's coming back. But so Scott Boras makes those comments. He says 2-time Gold Glove. All right, that was 2020 and 2021. We're now getting to be 2.5, 3 years away from that. Okay, the COVID year 2020, he was pretty dang healthy. Remember, they played 60 games. He played 50 that year, won the Gold Glove. What? He was so that year, though, Gold Glove, he was not that good offensively that season. So he was good OPS plus first year as a rookie, 61 games, 115. Didn't have an OPS plus over 100 until his amazing year in 2021, which was 148, off the charts, 8th in the MVP, his next Gold Glove. Now, the last couple of years, he's been banged up again, OPS plus of 99 and 94. So essentially league average, slightly below league average. I think that also says, though, look, this guy can have bad years and be banged up, and he's still dang close to league average. But I am going to basically side with the Cardinals in the sense of, if you're Scott Boras and you have to go to 2.5, 3 years to make a case for your client who's probably going to get traded, well, that speaks to what's happened the last couple of years. And here's the biggest problem with Tyler O'Neill. I like Tyler O'Neill. I know he had the issue with Ollie and not hustling because he was running at, I think, 93% of his sprint speed and all that. He's trying to stay healthy. He understands he's wound tight. He's built like a bodybuilder. His dad was a bodybuilder. His dad was Mr. Canada. We've had him on the radio talking about lifting with Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Muscle Beach days back in the day. Tyler O'Neill has only been healthy for the one season, and that was 138 games. I mean, still, 162 game season. He plays in 138 games that year, finishes 8th in the MVP. That was fantastic. But other than that, so after his rookie season, 61 games, he played in 60 games. COVID year, he did play in 50 out of the 60 games. That's good. But 2022, he played in 96 games, so essentially 2/3 of the season. Last year, he plays in 72 games, less than half a season. We all know this. It's very obvious. But Tyler O'Neill, his biggest problem is staying on the baseball field. They always say your best ability is your availability, and Tyler O'Neill is not very available, has not been very available for the St. Louis Cardinals during his time in St. Louis, except for the 1 year. And I'll give him the COVID year because that was a shortened season. He played almost all of it. But except for his amazing 2021 year where he played almost 140 games, 8th in the MVP. But let's be real. At this point, if Boras is throwing up numbers from 2.5, 3 years ago, he can't stay healthy. Even though I like Tyler ONeal, it just seems like now is the perfect time to have a change of scenery. I know that's cliche, but with some players, it just makes sense. You got to move on. If Tyler ONeal is going to flourish, I think you can say it's probably not going to happen here. Now, I wouldn't give him away for nothing because I still think if he is healthy in 2024, he has tremendous upside. But if you can get something of value in return, I do think that just the way things have gone, his health, his comments, and him getting tangled with Ollie at the beginning of the year. Clearly, John Mozeliak, I've never heard John Mozeliak ever announce they're publicly shopping someone. That tells you something. I think that tells you that they're moving on from Tyler ONeal. I could be wrong. Maybe they don't get a package in return they think is valid. But if you've never mentioned who you're going to trade and you finally do now, I think that's because, to quote the great Hawk Harrelson, he gone, but we shall see. So what do you guys think? Did you like the comments? Are you a Cardinals fan that was ticked off? Are you ticked off at Scott Boras taking a shot? I love the shots. I think the Cardinals should take a shot back at Scott Boras. How about that? It's fun, guys. It's the freaking winter meetings. This is what baseball and sports is about. Having fun. We're all bored at work. This is the content. It's getting you through the winter. Holidays come. Spring training right around the corner. We're talking about baseball. It is a beautiful thing. All right. I think I've covered everything. I also saw, let me just, while I'm here, while I have you, I hate to do this because I think we all do this. You see something on Twitter and you go, yeah, I saw it on Twitter. And I did see something about some interest with Tyler ONeal. Okay, here it is. This is Jeff Jones again. So also on the Canadian front, I believe Ben Frederickson, St. Louis Post-Dispatch, this is a tweet, mentioned this in his chat yesterday, but count the Kansas City Royals among the teams with interest in Tyler ONeal. What if Tyler ONeal goes across the state and starts sticking it to us in the I-70 series? Right? And even John Mozeliak joked, by the way. He joked, yeah, whoever we trade of an outfielder is probably going to get MVP votes. And clearly that's an allusion to Randy Arozarena, Adolis Garcia. Remember, Tyler ONeal has already gotten MVP votes. Would it be crazy if he has a healthy season with the Royals? Listen, I know you can't bank on health, but if he's healthy, dude's probably going to hit 30 bombs. You could see him with another MVP top 15 type season or something like that. Dylan Carlson, if you move him, I'm okay with moving Dylan Carlson at this point. And by the way, I'm okay with moving Tyler ONeal because the other thing is he only has 1 year of control left. He's not going to stay here. You're not going to keep him in free agency. Clearly, it's just not working. So even if he has a good 2024 with the Cardinals, he's probably leaving after this year. I would say that's like 95%. So there it is. All right, guys. I'll shut up. I'll keep it moving here. Comment, like, subscribe. I appreciate it. And actually, just since I have you, I never know when to stop, but I always like to give a shout out to the members on the channel here because you guys are great. And so is everybody, all the subscribers, anybody who watches. But the members, I got to give you guys some shout outs. So shout out one more time to the members, my premium members, Ken Phelan. I always mispronounce his name, but it's Ken Phelan. Gay2Z. All right, my premium members. My guy, Mother Goose, gets a shout out. Medium member, Goose, been with us a long time. And then our basic guys, which is all good. You don't even have to be a member. I'm just giving you a shout out, though. Bird Chatter Baseball, Sam I Am, John Helmick, Bobby the Handsome Guy Johnson, Charles Wagner, Michael Hawkins, my boy Stevie Reeb, SMFR the podcast, and the original member 15 months ago, along with Stevie Reeb, the original members, Bren Gillespie. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And hey, we're having a great month. November was great. December's doing really well. This is a great time for YouTube. The ad revenue is the best for the holiday season for Christmas coming up. So I really appreciate you guys watching all these videos. And once again, comment, like, subscribe. Anytime something happens at winter meetings, I'm going to jump on and do something. Even if it's a reliever, whatever it is, it's fun. I think you guys like it. you guys are watching these videos. So thank you once again. Peace out. Scott Boras, keep it up, baby. You're making it fun. See ya.